Welcome to Macrocode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we're going to proceed with our help desk management system. So I'm going to sign in. So this is our landing page. So I'm going to sign in to our application. So then we are going to proceed from where we left. So on our dashboard, you'll be able to see we have the recent tickets and you can see the number of comments per ticket. And you can actually drill down to see the details of those particular comments. Then if you go to tickets, you'll notice that we have the statuses and the number of comments, and also under actions, we have different actions. We have the details, comments, edit, assign, and resolve. So in our previous video, we dealt with a resolve. So here you can actually assign various statuses to the ticket. So you can see here we have the ticket resolution history. We have the description, the status, the created by, and the created on. But there is one thing. So you see the status of the ticket, it is still indicating that it is pending. So that means we need to ensure that whenever we are adding any resolution to the ticket, then we update the main status of the ticket to reflect what is happening. So we have the comments. So here you can see all the comments per the ticket. So you can see the description, the ticket, the created by and created on. You have the ticket categories. So these are also the categories, and we also have the subcategories per ticket. Then we have the audit trails. As we indicated, every activity in our application is actually logged. Then we have the users. So here you can add new users within the application. We have the system codes. Here we have the resolution status, the marital status, and the gender. Then the options related to those particular grouping is actually now within the system code details. So you can see the resolution statuses can be closed, in progress, escalated, on hold, resolved, or reopened. Then you have the system roles. So these are all the roles that will be actually using them within this application. Then you have the departments. So for those who are following this video up to this particular point, I'm sure you are following. And so what I want us to do, if we go to tickets, so I want us to ensure that whenever we go and let's just deal with one of them. So if we say resolve, you'll notice that we don't have any resolution history for this particular ticket. But if we say it is in progress and we say this is being handled, so if I add the resolution status, then you'll notice that we have now the ticket history has been created. But if we go to the particular ticket and see the status, it is still saying pending ticket. So what I want us to do is whenever we are addressing the ticket. So let's go back to the ticket controller. Then whenever we just say resolved, so I want us to do this. So if we just say resolve confirmed and we save, so I want to do one thing here. So I'll just also do, so I'll want to say variable ticket. So I want us to get that particular ticket details. So I'll just do await. Then you can do underscore context, then dot tickets. So these tickets, we are getting it based on the, so we'll say dot where, then we do that. Then we say dot ID is equals to ID. Then we do first or default. So this will give us the details of that particular ticket. So this should be equals to. So this will give us the details of that particular ticket. So the only thing that we need to do is to update. So I'm going to do ticket.status ID. Then I'll just do vm.status ID. So if we do that, this particular ticket will now get the status of this particular ID. And also, we need now to check this and we say this, then update. Sorry. So we need to do here update. Then we pass now this particular ticket here. So it will add and update our ticket based on the resolution that we've just provided. So let's just proceed and see. So I'm going to log, that is launch our application, then try to resolve one of the ticket. And we now need to track all this particular information. So for those who are following these videos and you like what is coming up, so subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and let's proceed. So I'm going to log in to the application. So I'll just click sign in. Then whenever I sign in, we are going to address one of the tickets. So let's just go back here. Then let's say resolved. We choose one. So if we choose here and we say it is escalated, say this has been escalated. So if we say this has been escalated and we add, you see it is saying escalated. So if we go to the tickets, we need to see that this particular, you see, escalated is actually the status of that particular ticket. So remember we had added also some colors. So let's just go back to the tickets. So I want us to ensure that we also have, so we can say if it is in progress. So here we can say now resolved, can say escalated. So if it is escalated, if it is reassigned, so we can actually have another status called reassigned. Reassigned. Then we can also have another status called you can say closed. So you can say this is green. Then we can also have another status called let's say, so we can, let's try these ones. So if we update, we should ensure that we are having a different coloring for escalated. Let's just see, you see, this is now, it is saying escalated. So let's check, for example, this one and say it is resolved. So if we say this is resolved and we say this has been resolved. So if we say resolved and we add, then if we go back to the tickets, resolved, let's just ensure we have the correct color code for that. So this should be green, I think so. Yes. So closed should be, let's say you can have it as green. So if we go back here, our closed, you see, we now have a resolved, escalated. Assuming we have these as in progress. So we can do that and say this is being addressed. So if we add that, if we go back, we can now have another status called in progress. So what is the code? So let's go back to the system codes. I'm going to open it on a new tab. So in progress, this is the status. So if I come here, I can say in progress, you can have it as purple. So if I update it, go back to our application. Let's just see if that will be refreshed. So you're saying that is purple. You see, in progress. So we now have this as statuses. For the resolved, let's say this is has been addressed. You can say this is resolved. You can say resolved. This has been fixed. So if we click that, then go back to the tickets, you see, we now have different statuses. So that is the best thing. So if we go back to the dashboard, you'll notice that you also have these statuses, but we can have this particular, I'm going to copy, let me just copy this. So I'm going to copy this. So I want us to have it on our dashboard. So if we go to the dashboard, where is it? Under index. Then I'll just have this here. Then I can have my tickets background styles. So I'll just copy this. And if we go back to home, where we have the status, I add this. So if I update, this will now be updated. So let's just see. So you can see we now have these as our statuses. So we can actually move these a bit to this end. So let's just move that. So I'm going to move the status to somewhere here. So we can have it here. Then I'm going also to ensure that I have my status in the correct position. just before created by. So you have there. Then if we update, then you're going to have these moving somewhere here. So you can see. So that is now how our application looks like. Now we've been able to, so if we click on if we go back to the tickets and whenever we just say details, you see we have the ticket comments and the ticket details. But now I want us to ensure that we have also under ticket details, we have the ticket history resolution. So remember we had added it on our resolved history, on our resolved view. So I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to add it on our details page. So I'm going to add it on our details page. Then remember what we need to do on our controller. I'm going to the tickets controller. Then we need to have it. So that is the details. So let me just go back on our, so we need to have our resolve. So I'm going to copy something here. So you see these resolutions, we need to have it on our details as well. So we need to add it here. So whenever we open our ticket details, we should be able to see even the resolution statuses of that particular ticket. So that will actually help us to ensure that we have a 360-degree view of what is happening on our tickets. So if we launch our application, so I'm going to sign in. So I'm going to sign in. Then as you can see now, under tickets, I have these statuses. And if I click details, I should be able to see even the history of that particular ticket. So we can actually even have different coloring. So let me just add that on our details. So let's just go back to the details of the ticket. So I can do here, we can say this is green. So I can have this dark olive. I can say green. So which green? You can say orange. You can say or coral. Let's just do coral. I'm going to have it here. So that is our header. Then for the other, I'm going to change this for the, so I'm going to have, that is coral. Then for the history, I'm going to have it as green. So you can say dark green. So let's choose the best one. Let's just have it as green, green, green. So if we update it, so you can have different colors based on the section that you are looking at. So let's just see. So you can see this is how now our application looks like. So we can also do the same for the other one, for the resolve. So if I do here, this is ticket comments. So I'll do here green. So I'm going to do green. This is green. This is green. Then I'll do coral for the. I'll do coral for the resolution. So that is it. So I'll do coral. So that is how now our application will look like. Now if we update, that gives us, so if we go to tickets, so we'll just wait and see. If we go back here and I say resolve, you'll notice now our view page looks this way. So I want us to ensure that on whenever this has been addressed, so I want us to check something. You see the status of the ticket is actually resolved. That means we should not be allowing any resolution to happen. When it is resolved, that is closed. So the only thing that I want us to do, if we go back to our resolve page, I want us to come here and check. So you see this particular area. Where is it? On this particular form here. I want us to have a condition here and say if. So I want us to have a condition here and say if. So I want us to check if the status, so you see this particular status here, status that we have for the ticket. So we check the ticket details. I want us to check if the ticket, if model, so here I'll do at model dot ticket details dot status, if status dot code equals to resolved, is not equal to resolved. So here we can say resolved. So if we do not equal to resolved, it will actually show this particular section only if, because the status has not been resolved. So it will show that. But if it's closed, but if it's resolved, then I want us to do something. I want us to ensure that we only provide the button for closing the ticket. So here it will now show this whenever we only have the state, when the status is not resolved. So if we just open, let's just open this. So if we launch the application for any ticket that is resolved, so if I just go here and do sign in, so if I sign in, then we go to tickets, details, then here you see this is resolved. So let's just confirm our model here. So this should be at. Let's just confirm the. So I want us to ensure that let's confirm this. What will be the status here? So if the ticket is not resolved, if the status is not resolved, then we should show this, but else this should not be shown. So I'm going to launch that. So then if we go to ticket details, then resolved, let's just check the status. So I'm going to, so this is the model. So if we go to the ticket details, then status, then you see it is resolved. So if it's not resolved, so let's just proceed. So you see, it is not resolved. It is actually resolved. Then we don't have this particular section to add comments. So what I want us to now do, whenever the ticket is resolved, we should ensure that we provide an option for closure. So if this is, so you can do here else. So if that is the case, I want us to provide a button here. I want us to provide a section here for closure. So, but now here we don't provide, so here we'll say, here we'll just do. So I want us to remove all this. Then we just provide a button and say, close ticket. Close ticket. So if that happens, then we can only close the ticket. So we want us to have these the resolve confirm action. So let's just go to the tickets controller, then find the result confirmed action. So here I want us to duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate it here. So instead of updating, yeah, so here the status will be, so here will be closing. So we say close confirm. So here you are closing the ticket. So what I want us to do here, so we'll say ticket resolution details, ticket closed. So you can say ticket closed successfully. So we are now closing our ticket. So on this particular area, I want us to get the status, closed status. So we are not allowing the user to to choose the status. So here I'll just say equals to await underscore context, then dot system code details. Then you can do dot include. So I'll do dot include. I'll do here x equals to x dot system code. Then here I'll do dot where. So here I'll do dot where. Say x equals to x dot. I'll say x. So I'll say dot system. I'll say dot. So this will remove that. Then here we'll say system code dot code equals to. So here we are getting, we want the closed status, and you can say here and. So here I'll just do and. So I'll do and x dot code. So I'll do x dot code. So this should be actually this one. So the system, this should be code. Then this should be resolution status. Resolution status. So then we can do dot first or default. So if we do that, then we'll have our close status. So we don't need the users to select. So if they just close, then we assign this particular status. So here we'll just do, instead of vm.status_id, we just do status.id. Then here we will update as well the ticket, and this will be, we are closing. Then that is it. So we say ticket closed successfully. So this particular action here, we are now going to confirm it on our status. So it will be here. So let's just check and see. So if we launch our app, we should now be able to close a ticket. Whenever it has been resolved, we can now close it. So let's just launch the app and see. So for those who are following these videos and our channel, and you have not subscribed and you're watching most of our videos, please consider subscribing. We notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you have not subscribed. So don't be part of those guys. So I'm going to sign in. Then we are trying to close one of the tickets. So I'll just go to the tickets details. Then if I just go to this particular one, which is resolved, if I say details, this is also, I think we need to check something there. So if we go to resolve, yes, you'll notice that you are now having a button to close. So if I click close, yes, so there is something that is showing, you see, insert the value null into, so here we can always provide the description. So we are not having the description. So the description here, we can always maybe call it closed. So we can say ticket closed. Ticket closed. So that is the description. So let's just relaunch. But in case you want to have the users put in more description, or you want them to add description, then that is okay. So, but for me, I've just provided a standard description here, but you can always leave it for users to provide. So if I just go back to the application, then try to now close. If I do details, there's something wrong there, so you need to check that. So I'll just go to the details. Then here, not the details, but closed. So I'll just do resolve. Then if I just say closed, there we go, we still have an issue. So the system status ID. So let's just check what is our status ID here. So if I just refresh this particular page, we should be able to know if we've actually found the status ID. So you see the code is closed, ID is that, and we have system code is resolution status. So why are we not having the status? So yes, so there is one thing that you need to check. You see here, we need to reuse this particular ID here. So we need to say this is status closed status ID. So you are closing the ticket. So you have two statuses. You have this one and this one. So that's just a matter of tracking the history of statuses. So that whenever you are dealing with a ticket, you can be able to see some of the actions that had been done before, and to ensure that you are not actually repeating any solution that had been given and maybe it failed. So let's just go back to the dashboard again. So the tickets, then resolve. So if I click resolve, you see our ticket has been closed. So if we go back, you see the ticket is closed. But now on details, I want us to do the same thing. On details, you see our ticket is closed and we still have the area for comments. So let's just do that. So we can do the same thing here. So I want us to actually have this. So we need to say if it is not resolved, or if it's not resolved and it's not, or it's not closed. So once you have those two, then anything that is not there, we should not allow that. So I think also what we need to do, it's say, yeah, so let's just do this. So if I copy this, go back to our details. So on our form, we can also add this. So we say we want to ensure that we have only this particular action whenever the ticket is not resolved and not closed. So we have that. So on our resolve as well, whenever a ticket is not that, and also we can say if a ticket is not here, can say if the ticket is not closed. That is when we have that. So if we launch our app now, we should now be in a position to see those particular comments, and we can be able to see that whenever a ticket has been closed, you cannot do anything. So if we launch the app, let's sign in. So if I go to the details of the ticket, then let's just say resolve. So you see here on the resolve, we are able to see this. Why? So I want us to check our status here. If ticket is not resolved or ticket is not closed, then you should be able to get that. So what is happening? Let's relaunch. So if the status is not resolved, or the status as well is not closed, so if we go back there and say resolve, let me just check why do we get that. So if I over there, so we need to check which is the status code here. So let me just see. Yes. So if we go to the status, ticket details, the status is, you see the status is closed. So here we are checking the status.code. So if we go back here, so you say and model.status.code is not closed, then it should not come here. So let's just see. So it is actually getting there. So we say so here we say and model.status is not closed. So let's see. So what I want us to do is I want us to close these in brackets. So let's just do that. We close these as well. Then let's say and that close this is not equal to closed. So that is it. So if we just update our app now, we should be able to see that these particular comments are now not there. So whenever a ticket is closed or it is resolved, then we should not be able to do anything. So I'll do that. So let's go back to the actions. So I'm going to say here resolve, and you can see nothing is happening. So there's also one thing. So if you can see here on these particular buttons, we can also hide this button whenever a ticket is closed so that even the assign one. So we should only allow whenever something is in progress or pending for you to see these particular actions, the assign and the resolved. So we can do that the same thing. So let's just use our, let's go back to index. So under index, we can always close these two buttons. These ones can say, here we can always say at if, say at model. So this is actually, you can say at item dot if item dot status dot code. If the status is not equal to resolved and so if that and this is not equal to this and this is not equal to this closed, then we can always now see those particular two actions. So I'm going to copy these now and have them inside here. So if we have these two, then that means we can only see these particular actions whenever a ticket has not been closed or it has not been resolved. So that is it. So assuming now we launch our app, we should now be able to see that these particular buttons are not there. So let's just launch the app. So I'm going to sign in. Then if we go to the tickets, you should see that we don't now have the buttons. So the buttons are not there. But for the escalated, we should actually see those particular buttons. So I want us to do something. For these closed tickets, you can see we have only comments, details, and edit. I want us to introduce something. I want us to have another button. We say else. If the ticket has been closed and it is resolved, what can only happen is to reopen that particular ticket. So I want us to reopen it. So I want us to have a button called reopen. So that reopen, so here we need to say else. So that reopen will also kind of revert the status of the ticket to open pending resolution. So you can say reopen. So if you do reopen, then you can actually reopen that particular ticket for reconsideration or for someone to action it as well. So if you reopen, the ticket will also go through the same workflow of resolution. So let's just see how that will go. So if we do that, sign in, then if we do that, then go to the tickets, you can see for the closed one, we now have the reopen button. So this reopen button should now revert this status maybe to pending or in progress. So let's just do that. So let's create another form here for reopening the ticket. So I'm going to say reopen. So I'm going to close this and say, I'm going to create here another empty razor view called reopen. So there we go. So I'm going to say reopen. So if we add this, then we can borrow the resolve razor view and paste it here. So this one will now give us the option to actually reopen it. So here we'll only reopen if the ticket, so we'll be able to see this particular action, the details, and we can say if the ticket, so we can only say if the ticket is closed. So if the ticket is equals to closed, then we can now reopen. And to reopen, we can provide the comments. So I want us to provide the comments, and the ticket status will assign it. So we can say ticket reopening comments. So if the ticket is closed, can be reopened. So let's just go back to our controller, tickets controller. So for the resolved action, so there we go. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to duplicate this and have it here. So then we are going to call this action reopen. So I want us to reopen. So I want to call this reopen. Then whenever we reopen, then we can always now confirm reopening. So I'm going to reuse this as well for the closed action. So I'm going to paste it here. Then you can say this is we are reopening. Reopen. Then here we are going to say ticket reopened. Reopened. Then for the status, which status do we assign? So we can assign status. So let's just do, so this one will be reopen confirmed. So you can say reopen. And this one will have it here. So we'll have it under here. Then now for our reopen action on our index, we need to redirect it to our reopen. So this one should point here. So let's just launch our app now and see. So we can now, if our ticket has been closed, then we can reopen it. And it can follow the same workflow that had been done. And you can see why it was reopened and the comments and who actually reopened. So let's just launch and see. So I'm going to sign in there. Then let's just go back to the tickets. And if we click now reopen, you'll see we are being taken now to the ticket details. You're able to see the history, but now we can reopen the ticket and we can have the comments. But this one, we can say instead of add resolution, we can say reopen the ticket. Reopen the ticket. So if we reopen, then we provide the comments. So which status do we assign a reopened ticket? So let's just go back and see some of the status that we have. I'm going to open it in a new tab. So here the resolution status is, we can say here reopened. Yeah, we have that. So you can use this status. So I'm going to the tickets controller, and then I'm going to assign it a reopened. You see here, I'll do reopened, and that is the status that will be assigned. So let's relaunch our app and reopen that particular ticket we see. So it will actually do the same thing. So let's just launch. So let's just launch and see. So I'm going to the tickets. Then I'm going to see here reopen. And you can say this has been reopened. So if I do that and click reopen the ticket, you see the ticket has been reopened. So let's just go back. You see the ticket has been reopened and you can see the status. So the comment here down here should be the ticket reopened successfully. So if that ticket has been reopened, that means we can now go back and maybe add comments and even the statuses that we want to address. So let's just go back there. So I'm going to now maybe close. So if we go back to the ticket, then the one that we've just reopened, and say, you can see now the buttons, we can say resolve. So, and you can see it is now providing us an option to all these information. So we can say maybe now it's in progress. This is being addressed. Then you can. So there's one thing, you see now we have two buttons here. You see you have the closed and add resolution. So we need to add, so we need to control this. So the closed button on the details page, the closed button on the details page should not be there. So this one, let me just go back to the details. So here you can say and, sorry. So you can only do that. If that is not equal to that and this is not equal to this. And also we can say if it is not closed and it's not, I'll just do here. I'll not do that then, and this is not. So I'm going to close this here. Then this one, you can say this is not equal to reopened. So that is it. So we can have this particular condition. Now this is okay. I think we should be having that. The only one that we should not be having is on the resolve button. You see this one? We should ensure that this one, if this one is closed, we should say if this is equals to resolved. You can do this. If this is equals to resolved, then change that to that particular one. Then let's see on the reopen if that is equals to close. So that should be good. So if you go back to the app now, you should now be able to see all those information, and you can reopen the ticket and do all those information. So another thing that you can do, guys, is for every action, maybe you can provide a scenario where they can attach or something. So that is based on your requirements. So here you see if I just do resolve, you see now I have one add resolution status. So I can say it is on old. This is on old. So I can do that. So if I add, then you can see this is, I'm tracking the statuses there, and you can now see I can close. So if I click close, then that ticket has been closed. So that is it for today, guys. So for those who are watching this video and you like the progress so far, comment down below, subscribe, and you can also comment, claim the source code, or even buy us coffee if you are willing. See you in our next video. Bye.